And we have camera. We have lights. And with any luck, we have audio. Maybe coming in a little bit hot. Let's see. All right. Let me know how that's coming through for you all. If it's a hizzy mess, I'm going to be very upset at Linux. So today we are planning to do a bit of playing Factorio, which is a very, very nice game for programmers. It's very, very fun, addictive, and interesting, at least to me, and at least the way I'm wired. I know a lot of people like it. Good morning, Snälla Katten, and good morning, JS Calc. So, I think we'll wait a minute just to let the initial social blast get out there and have people join. How many hours I have in Factorio? That's a dangerous question. I don't know. I usually get bored around the time I'm building nuclear plant. Oh, volume is a bit low. Let's see if we can fix that. It shouldn't be very low. If I push it any further, I think I might start peaking, which would be very annoying for you. I tuned it a bit, but yeah. We'll see. Let me know if it's obnoxiously low, and I'll try and, I guess, do magic. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't track my hours in Factorio. I could check Steam, but it's a little bit of a nuisance with the stream setup. I've certainly spent a lot of hours on it, but not like I have not been building like huge templated, massive bases. I know some people do that. I'm not a grind person. I don't like it when it becomes a grind. So I generally end up doing sort of getting it going. And then when we have a fun system, I experiment with it. I toy around. I refactor a lot. And then I end up going kind of, I'm done. Okay, I think we can start getting into the game. I will be switching on game audio a bit. So tell me if that's too aggressive. I hope it shouldn't be. It's important that you hear what I'm saying, right? So, Factorio 500 hours, yeah, they'll teach about queues. That's a distributed systems lesson right there. And that's kind of why I want to play Factorio on stream. One thing I really like playing Factorio, so that's the big part. I'm just gonna start a very default game. Enemy, they're gonna screw me over, but I won't do peaceful mode because that I don't want to know. I don't want them to know that I fear them. Yeah, let's just default everything. And like questions and conversation around programming, Elixir, whatever you're curious about is very welcome. Oh dear, am I going to get tutorialed? It's like, hit tab. Tab does nothing. Hold on. Oh no, that's tab. Other keyboard layout than this game was built for, I think. This was not, when I played the most Factorio, this was not a thing. Just like running around and looting the thing. Something to note as well about how I've played Factorio. I've never watched a guide. I've never really went off and looked at someone else's template design. I like the intellectual puzzle of it, and running off of templates would sort of remove half the game for me. Then it becomes homework instead, which I really don't like. So if you see me do a very non-optimal start, yeah, that's me. Let me know if I'm coming through okay. Someone said I was a bit low earlier, and I hope I'm coming through okay. Let's get some trees, then figure out. So we have enemies up here. Well, we can bring up the map. It's helpful. Okay, we have enemies up there. Oh, this was a nice constellation. Last time I had to run like a maniac between coal and iron. Oh, this is lovely. I think I'll enjoy this. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Jace Calc. Yeah, but volume is okay. Good. So I have this theory about Factorio being kind of ideal for doing team building and practicing sort of some of the more senior and architectural aspects of computing, because fundamentally it's about scaling systems and fundamentally it's about queues. I'm not sure we'll get so far as to a good lesson during this, because it takes a minute. Like bootstrapping it takes a minute, and you can do things that don't scale at all for a very long time in this game. Did I just place it not on coal? Mostly not on coal. So, we need coal. Now we have a coal. Put that in the coal mining thing. I don't remember if the coal mining thing will refill itself. We'll have to round and find out. But now it's putting that in the box. And we also want to have iron. And we want to smelt iron. Yeah, it's not refilling itself. But now we've done the first bit, so we can do this. So now I'm trying to essentially get us the first few components and the very silly little bootstrappy system that doesn't scale. And this is like one of the keys to this game if you haven't played it. Inserters. They move things. So this one could keep shoving coal into this one. And that one will shove... Oh, I planned this poorly. Well, I'll have consequences. Actually, we can change this immediately instead of suffering the consequences. Because usually you want to keep your resources fairly separate. But this early on, it's actually very inconvenient to transport things. So we put everything super near each other if we can. And then let's see, chop up some of these. Get that smelting going. calm stream. I haven't been streaming that much recently, so it's always interesting to see what the turnout is. But yeah, we're trying to bootstrap our civilization. We crashed here with our lovely spacecraft, and now we need to make a new one, but we have to sort of invent everything from scratch, kind of. So let's shove more of that there. So now we have a little bit more to do to make inserters with. Then we can get some coal, put that in that inserter so it keeps running. Now we have most of the process for producing. Alright, just out of coal. There, go, coal produce. This should pull out a decent bit of coal. We can even pull that in and just shove it in there. Keep that machine going, because this is essentially the thing that we need to be hand feeding right now, because it's not feeding itself. I want another one of these right now. Oh, I need stone. I can get that one. Meanwhile. Because it takes a stone furnace and it takes more metal. There we go. So now we can make another drill, but this one will be doing oh, this is tricky actually. I will need to move things. That's annoying. Did I mention refactoring is a large part of this game? Cause what I want to do is have a drill, putting iron there. I want it to put iron there, and I want it to be able to also get coal. So it's like building a tiny finicky little system, and after a while you start building the conveyor belts, and then your life is all about conveyor belts, and then things get better. Because you need the conveyor belts to make the world go around. This game ends up being all conveyor belts all the time, in a very lovely way. It's infrastructure and plumbing. If you hear thunder, that's because there's thunder. So don't worry. It's just thunder. Back up some more coal. I think this is burning through coal more quickly than I remembered. The one nuisance in this whole thing is that all these inserters also need coal, and at this point in the game you can't really very effectively keep them fed, so you do have to do some of that manually. Let's see if we can't get ourselves another coal drill, because we're running very low on coal very quickly, because we have multiple things competing for that resource. So electricity is high on my list right now, but It's not what we have yet. So let's do that. Oh, but things are coming along quite nicely in terms of getting servers, so that should be a win. I also look forward to making lights because it's dark in here. I guess it should figure out just a coal plant that hands coal to itself. I'm sure it's doable. And the thing, like these inserters, they can actually give themselves. Oh, it had stock to 50? I didn't think they did that. That's interesting. Thought we were going a bit low. Let's put that there. That'll give us a good basis. So now we have automated metal production to a small extent. So we can bootstrap a little bit of stone production because we will be using a lot of furnaces and drills. Probably not coal drills for very long, but still. So we need stone. And if we just go like that, and then grab like half of those, okay, and shove them here. This will just make stone for us for a decent while. Next projects over here, where we need to do the exact same type of thing, because we do want copper. Let's see. Tab. Oh, now we can see where things are. Good. So if we feed this one, it will feed that one, which will make the chain start working better. Let's see. I'm gonna need at least 2 drills. That's not how I intended to do it. And feed this a little bit of a buffer so we don't have too much delay in this chain. Alright. 2 drills, 1 furnace. Bunch of boxes. Notice some belts. Make it a little bit classy. Will also give you an idea about how this game works if you haven't played it. For some of the fun that comes down the road. So, rather than putting everything in boxes, can do this. Metal production, yeah, we've kind of encapsulated it. So the question is, so in Elixir terms, metal production is now a simple function. Yeah, we're getting there. So it's encapsulated. So we need to, yeah, simple function in terms of we put in coal and we get metal, but we all, like, it's not a pure function because we have this field of, we have this lovely field of coal and metal that we're using to achieve it, so it's not really, it's not pure or anything, but yes, it is a function, yes. well metaphored. So the metaphors I usually look at in this game concerning like tech is beyond like exploiting and expanding, which is very important here, and also occasionally shooting some indigenous beings, displacing the people that live here. Beyond that, there's a lot of Little's law, like queuing theory, and there's just queues for days in this game, which, if you've done some distributed systems, or if your primary interest is in Elixir, queues, man, they're everywhere. Okay, let's do the ugly thing, which can be kind of effective. I just want to make sure that that copper thing has coal. This will. So, one of these, you could consider this like user requests, or items being put on a processing queue, or data coming in a pipeline. Oh yes, we eradicate the bugs, I guess. But what's this? Well, this is a buffer. We can buffer materials here if the next worker in our pipeline is slow or busy. We will build a queue in here, a buffer and a queue. Same thing. It's more clear that we're dealing with queues when you're doing this. So we're getting materials, and here we can even see that this queue requires both copper and coal. And we have plenty of coal. It doesn't have plenty of copper. So it's actually bottlenecked. Well, it also has an internal buffer which helps mitigate that bottleneck a fair bit. Oh right, you can also do with some. I should have done something smarter. Refactoring, because I do want that one to get fed as well. I don't think we need that much buffering. Maybe. Nah. Let's keep this kind of lean. This system will eventually run low on coal, I think, because I am not handing it very much coal at all. But it should be reasonably productive for a bit. So, I have a bunch of copper. Let's see. Not a bad haul. The control key doesn't agree with me. So, certainly buffered a decent bit of coal there. And the interesting thing now is we could add more drills here, but because we need to get coal to them, it's actually very annoying. This is a more scalable design, because I can now add more of these, and I can build out a bunch of these. And do this. And assuming I have enough, can even get enough copper to feed enough drills to satisfy all of these burners. Then we have a scaling problem in terms of getting enough input. But currently we are mostly doing things that do not scale because we don't need the scale. Oh, you poor thing, they're out of coal. That's not good. Yeah, so this is one of the weak spots of this whole scheme currently. And we will need to address that at some point. Now, we should probably look at getting ourselves water. This is just my buildings, so water is all the way over there. I like how you can zoom out. Yeah. So we need a boiler, steam engine, offshore pump. Then we're gonna need a ton of these. We're gonna need so many transport belts. But we don't need the transport belts immediately because we can do it in a way that doesn't scale at first. So the first thing is getting a pump. This one will just magically pull water. I don't think it needs anything aside from that. We can have enough material for one pipe. Let's get some more metal. And to be clear, I don't plan these things. Like, I don't particularly plan ahead a ton in Factorio. I start planning when I have resources to plan with. That's what I find the most fun in Factorio, is ensuring resource flow. I just want the system to roll. That's my delight. I do the other things as well, but that's what I'm here for. Let's see, it's the boiler and the steam engine. So we need the boiler. That one wants water. Oh. Please install your boiler correctly. I'm gonna do the smallest kind of setup right now. This is not the most efficient. Like, it's going to be annoying when I need to scale it. It's going to be annoying when I need to improve access to it. So we have power lines up to here now. We do need a lot of iron plates. We need a lot of conveyance. I'm gonna see how much coal we have, because I can front load a lot of the coal. And I can't do electric mining drills, so let's build 2 of those. Because this one gets water, and if I just hand it a big old clump of coal, it will start producing steam. And with that steam, this thing produces power, which means these lines get power, which means I can plop down some electric mining drills. And the first thing I want to drill electrically for is coal and iron, so that I can keep this stuff up. Coal being one of the most important ones, but both matter. because like this whole feeding stuff is really annoying. Let's see. Let's pop down that one. So there. I don't remember all the UI shortcuts in Factorio anymore. Again, if you have questions, curiosities, doesn't have to be about Factorio, doesn't have to be about Elixir. Happy to chat about pretty much anything. Let's see. You don't want to accidentally place these where, so they have these uptake areas. You don't want them to start picking up the wrong types of materials. Getting in with the wrong crowd, you know? So we can let's start with making pretty decent iron production happen. So I guess we need to, well, we can build it in this direction instead. I don't want to remove my old bootstrappy stuff, because whenever I screw up this pipeline, which will happen, that is actually the way, one way I can recover that and just get resources even when the 2.0 system is broken. So don't throw out your legacy system while it's doing important work, I guess. That's the lesson. This needs to be working. I don't care if that one works, really. I can pick up that coal because that's just like overage. It's more coal than it needs. I'm sure this has flow. But as you can see, we get a pretty decent bunch of sources here. And now we need a lot of furnaces. Alright, there's a few optimizations we can do already. We can make these electrical, because these coal inserters are terrible for flow. So then we can ensure that this keeps moving, that this keeps moving, this keeps moving. It's bad placement. Yeah. This one needs a little bit of circuits, so I need well, I have a ton of copper, I just need none. Let's fix everything. There's nothing preventing you from upgrading your legacy system in place. Okay? Just get power to your legacy system. That's very important. If it doesn't have power, I think the metaphor breaks down a little bit now. It does need power, that's true, but alright, we have a bunch of those. This is flowing decently. So, come on, let's... So this is gonna disrupt the coal field a little bit, and ideally I wouldn't build on top of the resource field. But I'm gonna, because I need this to start earning. And some of this is like, oh, I have lessons from past playthroughs. That's called experience, and works pretty much as in the real world, where you've seen something happen before, kind of know how it's gonna go, and you can be prepared for that. So now we're getting these kind of quickly. And if we build out a little bit more conveyance, we go even faster. This game will also punish premature optimization, where you just end up trying to build the perfect thing and never get anything produced. We're not very much at the part where like queues backing up is punishing us, but in this case, like this one is barely productive at all at this point because there's so much coal in flow. So I can manually fix that and just go, hey, you're coaling. But this is why, in many cases, I would put sort of buffers in the form of boxes, because then you get to build up like this one. This one's backed up, and there's the thing I can do to sort of utilize that, which is just like, okay, you're offloading. One problem is this might stop blending. It will probably stop blending coal and iron after a while. It's not the best, but it's not a real problem. So now we have more resources. We might actually make our first lab. And let's see, I want automation, so I need 10 red bottles. Do I want automation? What do I want? Actually, a gun turret wouldn't be bad. Oh, yeah, okay, I don't get the assembling machine before I start working on that, so. Let's build red bottles. It's gonna take a minute, but we're also gonna need tons of iron to to do this, because right now I am ignoring this, which is not gonna be long-term viable. Let's see, how much coal have we burned through? 19 coal left, 30 there. So I can just drop off some coal here, and that will keep ticking for a bit. But we're gonna have to address it at some point. That's dead. That's certainly technical dead. Or it's like we put some money down over there. Just gonna let it ride, but it's not gonna be viable long term. Okay, so we have this lab, and these also, they pull a lot of electricity, if I remember correctly. And you can also make the research go a lot faster if you have more of them. But I'm just gonna plop one down so that we can get started on this, because the automation building is awesome. because you can plop resources into it and it will produce stuff for you. It will assemble things for you. So if you have the raw materials, you can make it do the thing you need. I think I want more electronic mining drills. It would be nice to have this line also be based off of that, but I think I'm gonna be making a dedicated coal track, because this one is currently feeding this whole thing, and one apparently can feed a fair number. Like, this is going operating quite fine. Honestly, I'm not saturated for metal yet. I should just keep going with the metal. Because I could make... Let's make one coal drill and just have that go feed the power system. Because I don't like having that lack of flow. This is going to be a nuisance. I don't like running them diagonally. So what's the next research we want to do? Better guns, more flexible ways of transport. That one is very good. Gun turret, like, not my favorite, but would not be bad to have. Let's see. This one needs more iron. We can hand feed this one and this one for a little bit. Get them active. But now let's make sure we have that light pole is bad. Should feel bad. Let's build some running. So now we should get a decent bit more iron on this whole thing. We can build out this part in a decently scalable manner. This is not a system that scales indefinitely. It scales up to a point, which is interesting. Oh, that's one I hadn't replaced. Let's feed it. I have so much copper though, so that's not a problem. Ooh, 100 plates. Anyone seen a forest around? Oh, this is a forest. Oh. Hey, Carter. Comma. Dot dot. I got you. understand what he's saying. The tricky part about playing a game on stream, which I haven't done a ton of, is just like I get engrossed in the game. I just play the game and forget to check chat. But I think I'm doing okay in terms of seeing chat. Not perhaps the best, but okay. This is a mess of wires. Makes me think of like electrical systems I've seen in Thailand and Sri Lanka. Okay. Honking mess of wires. See, so now we have a system with much more capacity. Something fun that we can do. Move this. Move those. We can like we can, let's say, ensure that these get fed correctly back into the system. Because I was buffering. Now I'm not sure I want to buffer that much. You can also do kind of a looping buffer thing with boxes that will feed onto the system if it's full. I can't be bothered to do that right now, but it's possible. Oh, now I have a decent number. Hello, Mr. Burner. I have a lot of that. Let's see how far we get with these. Where are we compared to power plants? Oh, we should be turning since a while. That's fine. A little bit wasteful, but not super. This is also like where you can practice some resiliency and just go, hey, I'm not actually gonna use electrical feed inserters exclusively for this, because in an electrical shortage, they'll stop. But if I have at least a few of these, then it should be good. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. So we could do more boilers, more steam engines. I don't think we've nearly exhausted the electrical capacity of our system so far. So let's just go on with building. We can see here that there's a lot of stuff flowing. Yes, this is an assembly machine. Those are cool. But we can now build a pretty decent number of electric mining drills, which that's progress right there. This is what progress is all about. Mining. It's very, like when playing these types of games, it's very hard to not feel like you're being exploitative, because you are. But it's also inherently very fun to like build systems and optimize them, I think. Or it's inherently fun for certain types of people. So now we have all these, they're plugging away. So if we want research to flow, we need to build, for example, right now we need red bottles. How do we make red bottles? Well, we can just click away and kind of get some. But you take iron plates and you turn them into cogs. We have a bunch of iron plates here. We have things that make iron plates. So inserters are actually slower than these transport belts. So if you want really good flow in your system, you have a throughput and latency thing. So for the leanest systems don't actually do any buffering. This is perfect when you haven't completed your system. Then you can just like go, hey, I'll buffer that. But if you want really good flow, you should just have a lot of really fast fans and some really aggressive inserters at particular points. Yeah, it's constantly just rebalancing your system. Now, so we have all these plates. We can build a little bit of a modular bit down here. Like maybe 4 assembly machines doing cogs, or no, we'll start with 1 assembly machine doing cogs, because there's so many assembly machines that are going to be needed before this day is over. So put this down. Need some power. And we need this inserter. We need to tell this one what it's going to do. It's going to make cogs. And then it's going to put the cogs in a box. And now this part is kind of modular. It will do its thing. And if we want these, we also need copper plates. Copper plates we can get. But let's see. This one can... I don't think these can make multi-component things. Oh yeah, it can. Cool. I didn't remember. So we could put that one there. And we also need a source of copper plates. Fortunately, I had a ton of copper plates in my pocket. So let's do it like that. Let's plop down some power for these. Oh! Out of power lines. Need to chop down some trees soon. And then we can make this one work like that. And it will start producing science, red science. And this is the very slow flow. Like everything's inserters and buffers, like nothing is flowing on, I was gonna say trampolines for some reason, nothing is flowing on conveyor belts. But it's a good starting point because it's another like do things that don't scale type of deal. We can go fetch this research center. It doesn't need to be up here. And we can now see that this whole thing is saturated again. But yeah, let's just make a very basic research line here. No, not like that. There. And it will hand them off, and they will do research. But of course, we would probably like to run multiples of all these. Oh, it's eaten all the iron plates. It's very efficient of it. So let's make the plates flow a little bit more. Sometimes I do these sort of triplet conveyors, and that's to make sure that we pack double on the conveyor belt, which doesn't happen if the inserter will only set things down on one end, and that's kind of what I use and abuse to get this mixed but clearly separated thing. Okay, so gun turrets, eventually the bugs will become aggressive because you're sort of polluting and making noise. They're like, howdy neighbor, war. So putting up some turrets will help them not ruin for example, your power station or similar. Let's put one there. Gun juice. Oh right, put all the ammo there, which is not entirely where I need it. And of course, we have automation, so eventually you build gun factories. Because you need to arm your turrets. Oh, and you can run faster if you do this. I need to check if I can wrangle multi-streaming again. I had it set up, but then the plugin died and started seg-faulting OBS, which was bad. Because I think when playing games, it makes a decent bit of sense to also be on Twitch. I mean, we should probably research light, because it's a little bit annoying not seeing anything. So now we could feed more of these plates on this flow. We could just feed them upwards here. Let's do that. That's a kind of fun, lazy thing to do. Low power. Okay. Time to check in on the power production and probably do a little bit of refactoring of that. I don't remember. That consumes 30 S. produces 60S. So you need 2 of those for 1 steam. Yeah, so we can see the steam generation is full on. This one is doing the power thing. Oh, our electric capacity is dropping. So fundamentally we need more steam engines. There's a chain of resources and dependencies, so you can actually run out for various reasons. It's not all one thing. And this is kind of poorly built for expandability. You will actually also eventually tackle like piping underground and do building things in a way where I can walk through them. Because like here is fine, but it's gonna be harder and less maintainable later. Did I build another steam engine? Yes. Is it worth plopping that down? No, we need to refactor all this. Noted. Noted. Stop telling me things. I played this game before. I don't need it. I don't want it. So, let's get a better gun. It's uninteresting, but it's helpful if the bugs show up. Actually, with the stuff I have in place, let's do that one instead. So this is fun. Splitters and underground belts. Very good, flexible tools that let me do a lot more. Yeah, I think our copper production could improve. And the way we structure this, we can just rip it out. And we have the basis of coal plus copper, electrical, or electric driven type. I'm just gonna back this off there to ensure that it does not pick up any of the wrong material, because that will screw your pipeline right up. Let's bring some power. Oh, no connection. That's rough. Keep just putting it out of reach. Silly. And there's some coal feeders here. So this could flow more easily. It's constantly this upgrading of methods. Like whenever you get a new capability or maybe a new abstraction. Yeah, let's call it that. But whenever you get access to new tools, you may want to implement them everywhere. But that's going to take work. It's a whole thing. So now I'm tearing down this system because it's not really serving a purpose at this point. Means I get a lot of coal in my pocket. I can dump in here, and it will be fed to the coalinator. We can also ensure that we have essentially what right now feels like infinite stones. That if we ever decide to wall this base in, it will not feel like an infinity of stones. This is... I know what splitters are. I know what those are. Can I turn off the tutorial? Enable Razer Chroma support. Graphics games interface. Oh dear. Is it recipe notifications? What are those? I'm gonna guess that that's what that is. Logistics is finished. Ooh, we can buy better bullets. That's fairly uninteresting. We could get the better science pack. Oh, this enables a lot of fun later. Stone wall, not that interested. Yeah, let's go with that. So now we have optics, so we could plop down some lamps. It can be kind of nice. It's also kind of wasteful. Strictly don't need it. Let's do more silliness here. Or maybe not. The proper way to funnel this out is through more lanes, because we will saturate this lane. But for now, that's fine. This is just like this weak little researchy bit here. Gonna need houses, or gonna need trees for power lines. So this is one of the things we can't automate yet, because we haven't invented the metal power line. So we actually have to manually just punch trees. We've gotten pretty far with a start on Factorio. Anyone keen to do a little bit of software development? I think I have. Yeah, I'm gonna be streaming for like another hour, I think. Yeah, about that. 50 minutes. So I think we break here. And I take a short break, hit the restroom, and then we look at implementing a feature in NervesHub. So I guess look back for that. I'll be back in a few. All right, I believe I'm back. And let's see. Oh, yes, these beautiful, beautiful errors. So, I have been working on something I'm calling the Nerves Cloud Kiosk. This is Nerves firmware, so I can actually show it on a device. Hold on. Just had to yank it off the phase arm. So this is the Reterminal DM by Seed Studio, and this is the firmware running on it. So it's an sort of onboarding firmware for Nerves and Phoenix projects, so that we can look closer at what the screen is showing later. But essentially, it's like getting you from 0 to prototype as quickly as possible, and getting you set up with NervesHub and consequently our new startup, Nerves Cloud, as quickly as possible. And that it's actually really quite helpful for development to be to already be on NervesHub, because that means you get another way to send firmware to your device. You get another way to find the name of your device if you're dealing with a lot of devices. They're not all called nerves.local. So let's see. Let's go back to the screen. So this is NervesHub Web. And this is Nerves Cloud Kiosk. Actually, we can make them both full screen because I don't think I'll be editing code in both of them at the same time. If we start the kiosk, hopefully it's not. Oh yeah, it's spitting up some secrets. That's good. Let's just remove that little thing because it will spit out the NervesHub link secrets. Let's see, it's on this one, I think. Yeah. So because this is on a local machine, like a host machine, and not on the actual device, it doesn't really do the whole networking thing. So we can ignore that part, but part of this is also helping with onboarding. So for example, if it doesn't have a connection, go into access point mode so that you can connect with your phone, or let you type in, like select a Wi-Fi network and type in your PSK and connect. So a few ways of getting the device online if it's going to do Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you can just plug in an Ethernet cable and be done with it. But let's see. I have kiosk. NervesHub manager remove credentials. And then we're at this stage. Now, so this is an onboarding flow. This is fine to enter. Oh, yeah, we have an on-screen keyboard as well. I'm going to try to explain as I go. Let me know if you're missing context or if there's particular things you're curious about. I'm happy to dive into like any particular part of it. So entering a serial, I think that's okay. One of the things we could do there that I think I removed it because I was just worried that it was part of a problem I was having. But if we do this, we're essentially saying by default use the Nerves runtime serial number, and that's apparently unconfigured, which is all right. So that's for a host that's unconfigured. If we bring up, I think it's kiosk.local. Yeah. There's runtime.serial. We get large reterminal dev 1. So it works on device. It will be different on host. One of the things I'm also doing with this kiosk is trying to maintain host mode on it so that I can do development of like this UI and most of the tool on my computer because it's a pain in the neck to always have to flash it to device. Like Nerves makes it easy, but it's still annoying. But having it, like being able to do most of it in your browser, you get a whole live refresh, live reload, and everything. So this is live view. It's a big old form. And what we should be doing is the thinking. There's two ways really of authenticating a device with NervesHub. One is the shared secret, which is kind of your development or not very sensitive variant, where you just embed a secret in the device and you use that to connect. And that's what we're doing for the Berlin fleet. So I can show you the Berlin fleet. That's a lovely piece of community. So 117 devices spread across our lovely little planet. Yesterday evening, I was throwing code onto one of John Carson's Raspberry Pi 4s and making it run machine learning. So I was probably heating his room mildly. But yeah, shared secret is an easy way of signing up, but it's not the most secure and it's not the best for sort of identifying a device. Ask away if there's anything I can clarify, Snellkatten. I'm happy to. So that's, you had a product key, you had a product secret, done. It should connect. And then there's the other option, which is using device certificates. And that's when you use security specific hardware, like I'm using on this board here. So here I've got the little glowy part here. I can actually show it, another one up close. So this is an ATEC 608A, I believe. And it's also dubbed a Nerves key. So there's a library that uses these to provide a kind of opinionated approach to authentication and like device authentication, device certificates. That's the Nerves key. So that's the other approach, having a device certificate of some kind that you use to authenticate against the service. That's the better way of doing it. We probably want to be able to onboard both. I want to start with the shared secret because that's kind of where I think most users will be. So I can do, Snellkatten. Yeah, the benefit here is that I can develop on my computer continuously. And then if there's anything that touches the hardware or that's concerned with the hardware, then I can always push stuff to the device fairly easily and try it. But I don't have to go to the device every time because that takes like pushing and then a reboot. Or sometimes you can just paste code into the IEX prompt, but it doesn't always work with some of the more complex modules like this one because I think it's because it has a bunch of heeks. I don't actually know exactly why I can't paste this module, but it doesn't work. It doesn't compile when I paste it into the IEX prompt on Nerves. It does compile if I paste it into this IEX prompt, which is weird. But yeah, it's a faster workflow to just develop most of it in the browser like this. So what I would like to do is remove product key and product secret from the form and have a flow where we can show like a QR code for like a shared secret onboarding request. So and then you could use your phone, snap a shot of the QR code, hit that link and go to your NervesHub and do an approval step. To get there, this points at devices.nerveshub or that .nervescloud.com, which is good for that, but it's not where we want to go. I wonder if I can get away with just doing an Etsy hosts thing. I'll do that off camera because I don't remember what I have in my Etsy hosts. Maybe I have crime in there. Oh, I have nerveshub.org. I guess we'll use nerveshub.org. So if I bring up the NervesHub project here, and I can go let's see if I just start this. Because I can certainly just go and like fetch the secret here. So these credentials are not actually sensitive because yeah, there. No, that's broken. It's very unfortunate that that's broken. We need to fix that. So if I do nerveshub.org and host dev, it might connect or it might completely crap out. NervesHub link ready. Cool, we're connected. You should switch over. That's silly. That's not correct. But we can fix that later. So we should be able to see this device in here now. Oh, I have so many devices, I forgot. Platform. I don't think any of those are accurate. Let's see, the ID, what did I call it? Host dev. Not there. Let's see the logs. We should have received a join from this, I think. Well, we can do NervesHub link dot connected. It should be connected. No, it's saying false. That's interesting. Connection refused. Probably hitting the wrong port. Quite possibly hitting the wrong port. Why does it say it's ready if it's doing crime? That's silly. That's a mistake on my part. So let's see, nerveshub.org, port 4000. Bring out those. So I can pick another project where I don't have like infinite other devices. Let's add a shared key. It's like, oh, cool, you set that up. That's great. Failing. It's not connected. And if we check, I think if we get all, nope. I wonder what it's trying to connect as, because this one will set hold on, onboard live will set what when submitted. I have worked on this particular part in a bit, so I'm a little bit forgetting how it operates. Configure NervesHub link. There's the form. Submit link. And it starts the manager. NervesHub manager. It starts. It adds that it should connect. It's set up application end with all this good stuff. What was the good stuff? It was NH instance. And how do we use NH instance? We map it to device API host, which I don't believe includes the port. So if I do a sneaky, do application, put env nerves, go away, NervesHub link device API port 4000, I'll put env. See how this goes. It's not connected. And yeah, no. So the way I've done this previously is not by using the port, but rather I've used the tailscale funnel. So guess I can turn that on. Okay. So if we remove these credentials once more, do this, and we go monolith dot. And if you're feeling clever and want to bother my network, please don't. I would prefer if you didn't. And I'll be shutting that down when we're done. If you heard weird noises, someone's building something outside. Let's see how that went. Join crashed. Join console channel. Join crashed. So I think it might have connected, but key UID not found in. Oh, right. This is something I get when joining in host mode sometimes. This UID needs to actually match some UID that exists on the server. This is not a problem you have with real devices. This is a development problem, and I don't know what I want, what I should be doing about it really. But I need to figure it out at some point. But I should be able to get around it for now by just like literally any firmware UID that is valid and exists can work, if I recall. Let's see. So, yeah. I didn't mean to remove the credentials. That was a mistake. Yeah, so I usually run this against the main main Nerves Cloud instance. But right now I will be developing on both the firmware and the NervesHub server. So I need a local one. That's why it's a bit extra annoying. I really should be fixing that. Okay, that's why. Now it's also a check mark up there. Cool, it's happy. It's online. So that was a sort of successful onboarding. Now we'll be able to see the device in here, I reckon. Yeah, so host dev is online. We can go to it. I don't think, oh yeah, we can actually open a console as well. It does work even on host mode, which is neat. Yeah, so what we need to do, the device needs to generate a fairly unique ID. It should open a request, or it should make a request or join a channel for that ID. Channel seems nice. Device should generate and display a QR code for that ID and well, for a URL containing that ID pointing to the NervesHub instance it wants to onboard to. This could be like, so, well, devices, the nervescloud.com/onboarding, and if it's a channel join, well, I guess it's technically be this. Something like that. And then you have the device pending and waiting just for approval and respect. An operator with NervesHub access can use QR code or link to open NervesHub instance in browser. Get a drop down available products. Select a product. Show information about requesting device. We select the product. We can approve. Onboarding. And for shared secret onboarding, first iteration, send shared secret credentials over the WebSocket for device certificate onboarding. Upload the public key /cert for the device. NervesHub adds it to the approved list. Device adds credentials to NervesHub link. Oh yeah, NervesHub manager. Oh, well, it adds them to NervesHub link. Let's not dwell on how. So let's go. I think I want to put it in here. So this is essentially what we need to do. I will not be able to do that in this session. This is a live view. This is the outcomes. This is the public API part. Now I wonder if we're gonna have some trouble with this. We do a few weird things when you're trying to connect a device, because we actually interject ourselves into the SSL process so that we don't spend a bunch of time doing SSL work for connections that are not allowed. Oh yeah, so I'm curious, do we have a way, how do we do it when we're not doing device certificates? I don't remember. Because this is in the main SSL path. So this is whenever you're trying to connect, you will hit this. Check now, see, maybe GTP. Because I'm like, when we do a connection for shared secrets, I think we bypass this, but I don't remember how. Maybe we don't hit this path for all connections, just for some. Where is it used? I think it's global, but yeah, so it's transport options, SSL, verify fund, verify peer, fail if no peer cert, false. Yeah, so okay, this does the rate limiting, this does some other part of it, this does the verification. But any connection we have coming in will hit this. Signer CA was not included in the request. Yada yada. Maybe register. Maybe register. Check combo name, yada, yada, yada. Because check new public key allowed. First time device connection allow. Yeah, I don't remember how that will work. I know devices are capable of connecting to the device socket though. So I think we'll be okay. Might not need to bother with that. Snälla katten, I see you asked the question. Does this project aim only to specific hardware you showed before, or any RPI with display for the QR to scan? Sorry for interrupt. It's very, very fine to just throw in the questions. I don't see them immediately sometimes. I'm happy to answer questions whenever. So this kiosk project, I was first thinking you meant nerves, but no. The kiosk project is intended to work with any nerves thing with a display. It will take some adapting probably to work with most of them. Or like we need to write slightly smarter, a slightly smarter project piece by piece. So I don't know if it would do the right thing on HDMI. Like, I think if you have a primary display connected, it would try to start the kiosk correctly on it. I know someone ran this on the fairly different reterminal 5-inch. And I think you could do this on the kiosk systems that Frank put together for the Raspberry Pi. So I think that would be the Raspberry Pi with the official display. There's a Raspberry Pi in this reterminal device as well. I think it would work if you ran it on HDMI, honestly, but I haven't tried it yet. And you could definitely adapt it. And it's all open, it's all available. You can find it on... where did I put it? Let's see. Yeah, it's on my GitHub for now. github.com/Lavik. Because it's very rough still. And it's churning. I'm changing a bunch of stuff almost daily. And this will be part of kind of what I demo at Berlin probably. I think I'll bring this annoying hunk of aluminum to be able to show some of it. I might regret it, but I'm there to show stuff. Yeah, but asterisks on whether it will work for other devices that I haven't tried. But yes, probably. It is not intended to be restricted to any particular device. I'm just working with it on a particular device. So opening a device socket, that's not really what I want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. No, I think I want a separate socket, separate channel. Like this has nothing to do with the rest. So we'll go to the endpoint. I don't think we'll have any session info. So it could go on the device socket, I guess. But the device socket is large already. I think I'll prefer to just make a separate one. So let's copy the massive device socket and do an onboarding onboarding socket. Hold on. Maybe that's a bit much. It's fine. Onboarding socket. We're gonna have to wrap up soon, so we'll not get super far on this implementation. But there's a bit of stuff we can do. Let's see. So this would be shared secret colon. How's this typically done? Oh yeah, it's that. Yeah, so shared secret colon asterisk, I guess. Oh, hold on. Am I thinking about this right? So console, yada yada. The user socket. Yeah, okay, that's how they're structured. Cool. Asterisk, NervesHub web. Onboarding channel. Nothing there. Don't think we need any of this. Guess I'll check what the user channel does, but this seems a bit much. Because we'll have to sort of allow anyone, and then we can change that later. Don't need a ton of stuff here. No, this is the onboarding socket, my friend. And then maybe we copy this that doesn't have quite so much junk. Onboarding channel. So we're looking at shared secret, device request ID, and then like, okay, assign socket, device request ID, device request ID. So we hold on to that, and that's all I want to do with that for the moment. Just letting it join. And we'll need to put it somewhere where we can essentially, we need to be able to get this information out, essentially. And I think we kind of already can. So I think we can get the PID of the device that's doing this. It should be passing some... No, it shouldn't be passing anything. Oh, yeah. Metadata. So probably like we want the an identifier for it to register it as. Though whether the device should be able to come up with its own serial is debatable in this case. But it's something we will need to deal with. So this is a channel. Then we need to make a live view that can check in on this channel. But I don't think we'll get there today because I need to wrap up. So I think we're stopping there for this particular moment. And it's been a small but fun, for me at least, morning stream. And I hope to do more of these because I do want people to get a chance to see sort of building Elixir in action and working with nerves in action. And I think I can wrangle the time to do a few of these, especially if I get some work I actually need to do done in the process. All right, that'll have to be it for this time. Thank you, everyone who's been watching. And reach out on Mastodon or LinkedIn or whatever if you have questions or want to chat further about this. My email is also easy to find on my website. I'm pretty available. So if this stuff interests you, or if there was something weird that you want to know more about, let me know. All right. Peace.